Well, hello there, everyone. Ooh, hold on, I'm looking a little... There we go. Hello there, everyone. I'm Clarabelle Calico, and today we'll be playing Chaos Head. Ooh, exciting. Scary and exciting. Okay, now let me get out. Let me get all little and get out of the way. How little should I get? This little? Is this too little? This much? Is this little enough? That looks good. Press. Oh, any button. I was gonna. Yeah. Continue or start over. Well, I don't. Quick load? Yeah, I'll do that. Oh. Where was I last? Yes. Oh, is this where I was last? This isn't where I was last. Uh-oh. What do I do? Ah! What happened? Oh no! Ah! Okay, we'll start this over. Nobody has to know that this is what happened. Yes. Nice. Wah! Ooh, and it comes together. If you are God and the delusions become reality, about what kind of noids you get in the... I give up. Okay, continue. What does this one do? Oh, okay. Will I be started over? Let's go back. And we'll... So I wasn't there. Well... Let's do that. And I don't know what will happen if it starts over. Okay. Don't yell so loud! She was still banging on the... Oh, I gotta move a little. Because I only got the one screen. Almost on that. Yeah, that looks nice. She was still banging on the outside of the door. The walls of a shipping container are a single piece of metal, so any sound echoes really loudly. She knew that, and was doing it anyway. I unlocked the padlock on the inside and opened the doors outward. I had no other choice. Here I am. Yes. This tiny shrimp of a girl was my little sister. She was 1 year younger than me. You did, huh? Here, let me check something real quick. Okay. Every time I saw her, she was complaining about something. As you could tell from the way she was standing with her hands on her hips and pouting. She was a little brat. And if you ask me, she was nothing more than a huge nuisance.
うわ、相変わらず部屋の中汚。ちょっとは片付けなよ。
I will one day. Nanami walked right into my room without even bothering to ask if it was okay. She thought she could do whatever she wanted because she was my little sister. To those of you out there who think little sisters are moe, I have a message for you. Face reality. Well, I guess she was kind of cute. If you were a loli fan, she might totally be your type. But as her real brother, I didn't feel that way about her at all. If anything, she seemed like a little baby to me. Oh, but I don't mind loli characters, just they have to be 2D.
カビくさ。お兄の部屋って相変わらず不潔。掃除しろっていつも言ってるじゃん。どうしてしないの？
I can't find the time. Just kidding.
まあ、どうせ掃除してくれる彼女なんかいないだろうし。お兄ってズボラだから、こうなるのは目に見えてるけどさ。
Your mouth turned into a
やっぱりナナが掃除しに来てあげるしかないかな。
だが断る。
なんでよ。
お前に部屋荒らされたくない。
きっとそれがわざわざ生存確認しに来てあげてる妹に言うセリフ。
Well, you're not showing your older brother any respect, are you? And nobody asked you to see if I was alive anyway.
まったく、なんでこんな面倒ばっかりかけさせる兄弟と血つながってるんだろう。たまに嫌になっちゃうよ。
Makes me sick too.
なんか喉乾いちゃった。飲み物もらうね。
Nanami walked to the back of the room and opened the fridge again without even bothering to ask. Oh.
コーラしかないじゃん。ミルクティーとか用意しといてよ。
Milk tea?
知らんがな。
Yeah.
しょうがないな。じゃあコーラもらうね。
As usual, she seemed to have no intention of asking for her brother's permission. She grabbed a bottle of soda, one that I already drank from, out of the fridge. She hesitated for a moment before swallowing it down. Disgusting. She put her lips right on it. How could a girl be so filthy? This was the problem with 3D woman. As soon as she left, I should throw that bottle out. Okay, wait.
美味しかった。
Okay.
やっぱ運動の後の一杯って格別。学校からここまで走ってきたんだ。
Drinking soda after a workout, huh? Better than drinking milk.
全部飲んだのか。しかも一気で。
Going around and then drink a glass of milk. I'd be scared. Somebody did that before my eyes. I got that soda with my own money. Being my little sister didn't give her any right to.
しまった。
Nanami, Anonymous stared at the now empty bottle in shock. She must have finally figured out how rude she was being.
どうしよう。また太っちゃうじゃん。
Oh, you're fine. Just a little bit of soda's alright, don't worry.
お兄のせいだからね。
Oh my goodness. What was she talking about?
お兄がコーラ好きなせいでナナまでコーラ大好きっ子になっちゃったんだから。
人のせいにするなよ。
だってうちの冷蔵庫に入ってるのいっつもコーラだったじゃん。
It was.
お母さんがお兄のことを甘やかすからだ。知ってる？コーラってカロリーすっごく高いの。だからお兄もあんまり飲みすぎない方がいいよ。今度からミルクティーにすべき。
Only milk tea, nothing else. Milk tea has basically the same calories as soda, and anyway, you don't get to tell me what to eat. Especially after you drink all my soda. Did you come all the way here just to tell me that?
もう帰れよ。
You confirmed that I was still alive. You should be done now, right? Why do you have to come into my room all the time?
お兄、冷たい。
Nanami seemed annoyed at my words. She was glaring at me with a frown. I didn't want to deal with it, so I just looked away.
せっかく心配して様子を見に来てあげてるのに。お兄ってずっとここに引きこもって誰とも喋らずに一日を終えちゃうことだってあるんでしょ。女の子と話す機会だってどうせ全くないんだよね。
Shut up! Don't make fun of me. I'm not interested in 3D girls. I don't need to talk to them.
言ってみればお兄と話す女の子はナナだけってことじゃん。だからさ、もっとナナのこと大事にしてよ。そしたら女の子との接し方もちょっとは分かってくるはずだし。
As she spoke, she picked up one of my fingers. Figures! Oh, it's like finger. That's weird. Figures. Hikaritan from Suicide Tower. The light. She stared at it. Hey, don't touch one of my wives! If you get a fingerprint on her, I'm seriously going to kick your butt.
あと、お兄は自分のことにもっと気を使って。
Yeah.
こんなお人形さんにうつつを抜かしてる場合じゃないよ。ナナはお兄の死体の第一発見者になんかなりたくないからね。
Yes, that's a good point. What was my little sister trying to say? She was starting to sound like Mom lately. What I meant by that was she was annoying.
いいから帰れよ。
そんなに帰れ帰れ言わないでよ。お兄のバカ。まだこっちには用事が残ってるの。
Ugh, she was starting to get hysterical. If I made her any madder, she might go berserk. I had to stay calm. Alright.
携帯買いに行こう。
は
What was she talking about?
お父さんがそうしろって。お兄が携帯持てばいつでも生存確認できるじゃん。
Oh, okay.
お金はナナが預かってきたから今から買いに行こうよ。今時携帯持ってない人なんていないよ。時代に取り残されちゃうよ。
Yeah. Shut up, trend follower. I know a lot more about what's popular than you do. I've got the internet, you know. I feel like she knows it's more popular. Maybe most kids my age had a phone, but I didn't. There was no reason why I would want one. I had nobody to call or text, and I didn't want to spend money on something I wasn't going to use.
だから行こ
Okay, yeah. Nanami put the figure back on the shelf and peered up at me.
う。どうせお兄は
あ
機種とかわかん
jump
ない
scare
だろうから、ナナと同じ機種にしちゃいなよ。
She took her phone out of her bag and waved it in my face. Ooh,
ほら、これが
cool.
ナナの
The
色
little
が可愛い
frog.
でしょ。ついでだからストラップも同じのあげるよ。
Matching.
うわ、なんという手抜きキャラ。
I don't think it's lazy. Hanging from the strap was a small. It was a small figurine of a character that was, well, whatever it was. It certainly wasn't cute. It looked like something created by a rookie designer with no talent at all. It wasn't cute, or even creepy cute. It was just creepy.
手抜きじゃないもん。ゲロカエルンはこういうデザインなの。今すっごく流行ってるんだからね。はあ、女子高生の流行なんてお兄が知ってるわけないか。そういうとこを直せば少しは女子と会話成立すると思うよ、きっと。
Why, girl, what the hell kind of name is Get a Froggy? There was no way this thing was popular. The poor girl didn't realize she was being manipulated by the media.
ってい
Oh.
うか、今はゲロカエルンの話じゃなくて。
Anyway, we're not talking about Garafroggy right now.
いいから携帯買いに行こうよ。あ、別にお揃いがいいとか言ってるわけじゃないからね。家族で同じ機種だと基本料金が割引されるサービスがあるからだよ。
Oh, okay.
家族で持ってないのはお兄だけなんだからね。
Yeah.
いらない。
なんで？お金はお父さんが出してくれるんだよ。
必要ない。
It would just be a nuisance if I had a phone. Mom would probably call every day. And if I didn't pick up, she'd send her pet assassin Nanami here to check on me. In other words, it would just be a nuisance, one that would make my life a lot harder. I didn't want all that.
もう信じらんないよ、このバカ鬼。もう帰る。
ああ、そうしてくれ。
Dang. I opened the door for her to go, but she didn't move. She just glared at me, shoulders heaving with rage.
ほんとバカ、アホバカ鬼。駅まで送ってくれるとかしてよ。
Yeah,
嫌だね。
why not? I'd never walk her to the station. All the time she'd come before, why would I start now?
だって最近殺人事件とかで物騒じゃんか。こういう場合心配するのが兄弟ってもんでしょ。
Yeah. For a moment, what happened yesterday felt like it was going to come flooding back to me. I shook my head, desperately trying to drive the thought out of my mind.
どうでもいいし。
Yeah, no. Whoever the new gen killer was, they weren't going to be interested in a little kid like Nanami. You don't know that.
ありえない。ナナが死んでもいいって言うんだ。
She was crying. I must have really made her sad. Yeah, you did. It felt great. That's what you get for disturbing my peaceful life. This would be my little way of getting revenge. That's what you get. That's not very nice. Yeah. I hope that happens too. She knocked me aside and ran out the door. Whew. At last, the storm was over. The room was quiet now that she was gone. It was much nicer. The base was my home. Nothing was allowed to happen here unless I wanted it to. I sat down at my computer and moved the mouse a little to wake it up from my Sarita 10 screensaver when I took a big swig from the soda bottle on the table. But it was empty!
しまった。これ、ナナミがさっき飲んだやつだ。
Uh-oh. Oh no. I just had an indirect kiss with my little sister. That's a little weird. I don't know if that would be my first thought, but if Nanami was a little sweeter, it might have been great. Oh. Like something out of an H game. But with her personality, it just made me feel sick. So that's where you draw the line, huh? I closed the cap on the bottle and threw it into the big garbage bag in the corner of the room. It missed and bounced off the wall, rolling under the bed. But whatever. Now then, time to go back to Iso. Time to forget all the annoying stuff that happened in the real world. But sadly, I was forced to bring my time in Baselard to an end after just a single day. When I left the base early in the morning, my mental state was back in the dumps, and any improvement that I'd felt from my time in the game was gone. Why did I have to go to school? I'm going too. Boop, 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 beep, boop, bop, bop. Whee! I'm back. I'm not going to school. Just kidding.
なんで今日なんだよ。最低最悪だ。
But I couldn't stay home. If I'd stayed home, I would ruin my whole attendance schedule. Then I wouldn't be able to graduate.
卒業って。何を卒業するって言うんだよ。
So you could get some jobs easier, maybe. It was my idea, but still, I couldn't help but complain. When I got to the luxury residence at Shoto, I suddenly realized I'd been feeling someone looking at me the whole time. But it wasn't God's gaze. There wasn't that weird feeling in my neck. Oh! As I turned the corner, I took a quick look behind me without turning around and caught a glimpse of a girl in a Suzume uniform. Was it the demon from 2 days ago? Suddenly, my heart started to pound. I was so nervous that I started to walk funny. I started to feel like I no longer belonged in the quiet morning around me. I could hear the sound of birds chirping on the power lines and the faint sound of the morning news from the television inside the houses around me. This didn't feel like a place where any kind of murder could happen, and yet I felt like I was about to have delusions of myself being brutally killed. No, I needed to calm down. I hadn't gotten a clear look at her face. Had I? And if they were a Suzume student, it was only natural that they'd be following me. They were heading to the school just like I was. Okay, I had no idea. Instead of following the path that led straight towards school, I made a right instead. I fought down the urge to turn around and try to act as naturally as possible. I kept walking, trying to contain my nerves, and after a minute I quietly turned around. What? Huh? Our eyes almost met and quickly turned my head. I quickly turned my head again. Why was she following me? This wasn't the way to school. She was actually tailing me. It was a face I didn't recognize. The one thing I could tell for sure, though, was that it wasn't the demon from the other day. This girl had glasses. Just knowing that alone made me feel more relieved. I decided I should just head straight to school. Why? 'Cause someone with glasses can't beat you up? I probably could. And I got glasses. I'd have to cancel my usual morning breakfast. But I don't have a choice.
くそ、女子 A め。
To me, you're just pedestrian number 1, or a girl A. No more important than that. So, go away. Oh, hey, look. I go to this. Oh, wait. Here, I'll become the same size as them. Almost. Almost. Oh, wait, I'll... I go to this school, see? Hello. No, I don't. That was a lie. Oh, I'm so little. She seemed to have somewhere else to go since she headed for the third-year student classroom. Maybe I was just imagining her tailing me, but it didn't make sense that she'd follow me down a route that led away from the school. She was just trying to upset me? Had I done something to make her mad? No, I hadn't. There was no way I could. At this school, I was as invisible as air. Keep telling yourself that. So what was she after? I somehow made it through an awful day of school, and as always, stopped at Cafe. On my way home, of course, I sat in room 37. Usually the rooms around me were empty, but surprisingly enough, there was somebody in 36 today. The door to the room was closed, so I could see the desk light was turned on inside. I sighed a little as I went into my own room. Having someone next door made it hard to chat. I was the kind of person who always said things out loud when he chattered. Well, whatever. Time to log into ESO. I just have to be careful not to say anything.
だよこいつら。
Oops. I slammed my palm down on the keyboard, annoyed. I've been playing for about 2 hours now. Today was just a stressful day. The pair I'd grouped up with were clearly new players. As always, I stayed in the background, trying to let them have the glory for themselves. But one would always run ahead of us and die, and then do it again. The other, a mage, refused to use any magic to help us. Our party must have died a dozen times. And then on top of that, all they did was complain and chat. Freaking idiots! I just got so mad, I PK'd them. Took all their items and then quickly escaped to another area. Nightheart couldn't do that stuff, but Lisa Loette could. That was why I came all the way to at cafe to log in. I felt a little better, so I decided to take a break and go get something to drink. At cafe had free drinks and a well-stocked soda fountain near the corner. The one problem with room 37 was that it was pretty far from the bar. When I left the room, I saw that the door to room 36 was open. I had to go buy it if I was going to get the soda. I took a quick peek inside as I walked by and nobody was there. Actually, I realized I heard the sound of somebody getting up a moment ago. But there was a bag sitting next to the chair in the room. It was a student's bag. Decorative straps hung from it, stuffed animals dangling at their ends. They were the Garofroggies. The thing Nanami had showed me yesterday, 3 of them. 3 of them too. Maybe it was really popular. Not that I cared. If I kept staring at it and they come back, they might think I was a stalker or a thief. I decided to forget about it and get my soda. But when I saw what was showing on their monitor, my eyes went wide. The monitor was displaying the words New Gen Agitator Site. It was in a really nasty looking attention-grabbing font too. I'm sitting on the chair. New Gen. I'd been deliberately avoiding looking up anything about it. I didn't want to know the details. That was how I was telling myself. How I was telling myself that I had nothing to. That it had nothing to do with me. Anyway, there was a reason the person who just happened to be in the next room to me at the Net Cafe was looking at New Gen Agitator Site. For a moment, I saw the demon girl's face again. My whole body shivered. I shook with my head and to drive away the negative thoughts. I was overthinking it. Yeah, I was just being paranoid. New Gen was the media's favorite subject, and now not a day went by when the TV talk shows weren't discussing it. Everybody was interested in it. That was the only reason. Yeah, it had to be. Time to forget about it and go get my soda. I'm on the soda machine. I'm the soda coming out. Can I go upside down? Maybe? It's like... No, I can't. Be standing here like I'm ordering some. I put my cup under the dispenser and pushed the button for soda. Ice cold soda came right down into the cup. The sun was setting and it was starting to get crowded. I could see a small line of people waiting at the register. As it got later, more and more people were going to come. An hour or so, all the rooms around room 37 would be full. That would probably be my cue to go home. I took my cup and went back to my seat. As I walked, I took a quick glance down the corridor that led to the restrooms. Oh! Angrily going to the toilet. Oops. Huh? Very angrily went to the toilet. That was silly. I saw a girl with glasses in a Suzume uniform disappearing down the end of the hall. It was a girl. It was Girl A, the one who'd been following me this morning. I thought it must have been a mistake, so I hid behind a bookshelf and watched the corridor for a while. But I never saw her again. I must have been imagining it, right? Yeah, I'd only seen her for a second. And there were probably a ton of Suzume girls who used this cafe, a lot of whom probably wore glasses. But what if it was Girl A? What was she doing here? Was it just a coincidence, or had she followed me? I started to feel scared. Oh no! I'm gonna get hit by a car! Uh-oh! Go up the stairs. Doot, doot, doot. I'm on the stairs. Whee! Boing, 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 boing. I'll drive this car. I left the cafe and hurried back to the base. I'd gotten too scared to stay. I wanted to go home as fast as possible, but the streets were crowded with people, and I couldn't move forward as fast as I wanted. I was starting to feel sick. I hated crowds. It felt like everyone was laughing at me. The crowds turned red, so... Oh, the crosswalk. Okay. I was like, the crowds? Like, the people? The crosswalk turned red, so I had to stop. I took a quick look around. There was no sign of Girl A. Nice. Ooh, more stairs to go up and down. Whoops. And then I'll slide down the rail. Spin around there like that one musical. Wee, 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 wee. I'll go back down here. As I headed to Dojinzaka? I'm sorry if I did that wrong. Hill. Walking got a lot easier. Usually I chose to take the back streets where there weren't as many people. Oh! But after what happened 2 days ago, I decided to take the main streets instead. I came to another light and looked around again, but there was no sign of Girl A. Maybe the person I'd seen at cafe was someone else after all. I relaxed a little, relieved, and turned around. Oh no! If only I looked a little further to the side, I would have seen her. I took a step back in shock. There was no other side of the crosswalk. There, on the other side of the crosswalk, standing with the other pedestrians walking to cross, was the girl. And her eyes behind her glasses were locked dead onto me. Her eyes were intense, as if she was trying to send me some kind of message. I couldn't take my eyes off her. It was like I was paralyzed. Suddenly, her lips moved. She was trying to say something. But the noise from the crowd was loud. I couldn't hear it. I strained my eyes to see what she was saying. Who? C. I. Z. Are those? My hair stood on end. Impossible. I was imagining things. I didn't know how to read lips. There's no way that was right. I shook my head and forced myself to look away. It was clear that she had something, at least, no matter what it was doing, that the guy she'd never met was was creepy as hell. I needed to stay away from her. Ah, I needed to run. I needed to run while I could. Run! I ran. I forced my timid brain into action and ran as fast as I could. I ran to the opposite direction of her and down a side street I saw. Ooh, I'll go down here. I'm moving all over the place. I coiled with something and fell on the ground, hard, hitting my shoulder. I gasped in agony as pain raced through my whole body. I couldn't tell what happened. It was all I could do to sit up. A bike. When I looked, I saw there was a large scooter in the middle of the street that I knocked over. I must have collided with it. I gritted my teeth and tried to force myself to stand up, but I couldn't feel any strength in my legs. I didn't think anything was broken, but...
大丈夫ですか?
A girl was there. She must have caught up to me at some point. She was looking down on me, worried.
No.
What the hell was going on? Who was this woman? My body wouldn't move. I was too scared. I didn't know what to do. It was too late now, but I regretted not taking the train to Shinsen.
怪我してませんか?
Yes. Her voice was timid and hesitant. She was trying to act worried and to get me to let my guard down. You're not going to fool me. I won't let any 3D girls fool me.
え?
ついてくるなよ。僕に何の用だ。
Yeah, what do you want? I yelled at her. I still couldn't stand up, so I crawled away from her. If I didn't put some distance between us, I was afraid she might pull a knife on me. Just like that. The terrible sight came back to me again, and I kept feeling like it was going to happen to me too. She seemed hurt.
あなたが急に走り出して様子を見に来たら倒れてたので心配で。でも今は用事とかあるわけじゃないんですが、
You don't have anything to talk to me about? What does that mean?
じゃあ、なんで付きまとってくるんだ。
それは、
She was stammering. It was really suspicious.
私、
Was it?
楠木優愛って言います。
She could just be nervous. I didn't ask, but she introduced herself anyway.
実は、あなたのこと、一目見て、なんとなく存在が気になって、それで、つい。
So you started stalking me? The girl, Yua, was staring at the ground as she talked.
ごめんなさい。
Oh, that's alright. She bowed. Impossible. That was my honest reaction. Now that I got a clear look at her, this Yua girl was pretty cute, I'll admit that. But that doesn't mean I could believe it. A 3D girl interested in me? What kind of H-game scenario was that? That had never happened in my entire life. It sounded to me like an obvious lie. Did she think this would make me happy? Especially when she'd been acting like a stalker a moment ago? Maybe if she was 2D, it might work, but a 3D girl? Like that. Like that? Just a weirdo. Scary. You think? I don't know. I felt really embarrassed. Just being here too, I wanted to get out of here as soon as possible. 3D girls were just the worst. Even talking to one made you nervous.
僕は三次元に興味はないよ。
Yeah, that is a weird thing to
Yeah.
say.
め
Yeah. The people are pretty scary. I tried to say something harsh, but hesitated. But I knew if I didn't say it, she'd keep stalking me. I didn't want that.
迷惑だよ。つきまとわないでよ。
すいません。
Aw, man. She looks sad. Did she really feel bad about it? Maybe? No, I couldn't let her fool me. I couldn't believe in any 3D person. I only believe in 2D. Nothing else. I could trust Saratan a lot more than I could trust her.
もうついてこないでね。僕帰るから。
I forced myself to stand up as I stammered out the words. My whole body still hurt, especially my shoulder. I could barely move it, and every so often I'd feel a dull ache in it. The pain was making me a little dizzy. I might have hit my head a little when I'd landed. I staggered for a moment, and Yua quickly grabbed my hand.
怪我してるんですね。手貸します。
Yeah. It was all I could do not to turn and look at her. I knew my face was bright red. If she saw it, she'd definitely make fun of me. I knocked her hand away violently so that I could turn away from her. My mind was going blank. I almost never had a chance to touch a girl who wasn't a family member. I could feel my heartbeat quickening.
お家まで送ります。あなたが怪我したのは私がつきまとっちゃったせいですから。だから送らせてください。
I appreciate her offer. I wasn't used to having anybody nice to me, and I felt like I might actually fall in love with this 3D girl. With this 3D girl I'd hated just a moment ago. But that didn't mean that that I had the courage to look straight at her in any way. She was a stalker and might have something to do with that demon girl too. And I didn't want to die. So many different thoughts were racing through my head that I didn't know what I felt anymore.
お家どこですか？
深セン。
深セン？
Mm-hmm. I nodded and then realized what I'd done. Why did I tell her that? What was I expecting to happen? This was just a delusion anyway. Who would I had an idea? Like a little parrot. Or even if it wasn't, I would only be happy for a while before it all got ruined at the last second. That's how it always worked. That's how it always worked out in anime, right? I could feel the death flags popping up by the second. Crap, 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 crap. Now she was up against me trying to help me walk. I could feel her soft body up against mine. Her hair smelled good. Impossible. No 3 to go would ever be this nice to me.
歩けますか？
I nodded again.
じゃあ行きましょう。
Yeah. Oh. Oh no, I'm gonna fall. Wee. She sounded nervous and was watching my feet as we slowly walked. At this point, I didn't feel like I could refuse or shake her off. Hopelessly, I let her tiny body support me as we went. Neither I nor Yua said a word until we got to the building where the base was at. There was no way I could have a real conversation with a girl. Even if I talked about anime or games or figures, a 3D girl would never try to understand. She'd just tell me I was creepy. And from my perspective, there was no point in talking to worthless girls like that. Dang.
ここでもういいから。
I whispered, and then watched to see how she reacted. She nodded slightly and then let go of me. I still staggered a little.
やっぱりお部屋までついていきましょうか。
Oh no! Wah, boing. I'll be in the window. Hmm? This one's my room. I ignored her and headed for the building's lobby. I say lobby, but it was really just a narrow hallway leading to some elevators. There was a small staircase, and when I tried to go up it, I felt incredible pain that almost knocked me over.
大丈夫ですか？
I'll stay down here. She ran over and grabbed me. Damn it, she was still here.
やっぱり部屋まで送ります。絶対送りますから。
For some reason, she seemed really desperate. Wow. Wow, look at, there's like a little umbrella and like a counter and a washing machine. A dryer? Or maybe washing machine and then dryer. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Ooh, wait, I could stand over here. How would I stand over? I'll stand like that. To be honest, she'd been a big help to get me this far. My base was on the roof, and to get there, you had to take the elevator to the 8th floor, and then go up a steep staircase. I couldn't have done it on my own. Yua didn't look that strong, but she'd done everything she could to help me get up. She'd been supporting me for so long, she was out of breath.
こんなところに住んでるんですね。
She said, "You live like this?" Yeah, I'm thinking, oops. She looked at the shipping container in shock. I guess to most people, living in a shipping container was really weird. Ooh, I think this is gonna be it. So we'll save. We'll save in there. Okay. I think that's gonna be it for today. Oops, I clicked on the wrong thing. I gotta. Woo. Uh, thank you for coming over and hanging out. Bye bye.